Namaste. My name is Amanda. I'll be guiding you through this short practice that accesses or tunes into the upper body. Often there is a misconception that when shoulders and the upper back get sore, that our muscles are tight. But what actually happens is that we spend so much time leaning forward, whether texting or typing, even those people who drive long periods of time, that the muscles in the back lengthen and the muscles in the front shorten. And so this culmination between the two creates congestion and soreness in the back, but also within the chest. So this short little sequence can be really wonderful to do at the end of a workday, midday, or even before bed. It's really ideal that you have either a bolster or a blanket rolled up that you can use. So take a moment to find your seat and roll the shoulders up towards the ears. Slide them back down the back. And tune into the breath. Just take a few centering breaths together. Take a deep inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale nose. Exhale mouth. This time inhale and exhale through the mouth, creating this long, even breath. And invite the breath to come all the way down to the lowest lobe of the lungs. So it's not just surface at the top of the chest, but rather uses all of the surface area of the lungs. And feel free to bring the hands to heart center as we open with one Om. Inhale. Hands come down to the thighs. Gently open the eyes. Make your way into tabletop. Moving out of the way your bolster or your rolled up blanket. Stack your hands underneath your shoulders. Spread the fingers out as wide as you can. And tuck the toes under, keep them nice and awake, and shrug the shoulders back. So you're not rounding forward here, but shoulders come back. And feel into this position. Close down the eyes. Engage the lower belly a little bit, drawing it up and in. And again, shrug the shoulders back. Notice if there's a natural tendency to bring the shoulders farther forward. Shrug the shoulders back. And we'll move through a few rounds of Marjariasana, cat-cow. Inhale, drop the belly, raise head and tailbone. Exhale, curl and round. Inhale, drop the belly, raise head and tailbone. Exhale, curl and round. Keep moving with your own breath and really accentuate the upper spine's part of the movements here. Focus on drawing the shoulder blades together and rounding the shoulder blades to the best of your ability. You can almost ignore the lower half of the body here. It'll just follow along. And sense what you feel. Notice whether it's easier in one direction versus the other. Often when there is soreness within the shoulders, shrugging the shoulder blades together actually is more intense than spreading them apart because it's not our body's natural tendency. And find your way back to a neutral position. You can keep your hips stacked above the knees here as we come into thread the needle. So bring right hand a little bit farther in front of you, lift the left hand up and slide it between the wrist and the knee. Aim for the shoulder to come all the way down to the ground. And a few options here. Your hand can rest on the ground, the left hand here. Your right hand can tent out in front of you. Or if you'd like, you can grasp onto your left hand with your right. Give it a little pull. This will help to give yourself an adjustment in the pose. So this time, instead of dumping into where the body naturally goes, you're creating a conscious awareness of where the body goes. So consciously working on a stretch through the back of the body. And bring your right hand down underneath your shoulder a little bit farther in front. Inhale, rise the left hand up. Leave the left hand off of the ground and rise the left hand out in front of you. Exhale, draw the left hand back behind you. Just a little flossing of the shoulder joint here. Inhale, forward. Exhale, draw it back. Last time, inhale. Exhale all the way back. And hand comes back down to the earth. Bring that hand farther in front of you, opposite side. Right hand reaches up. You can reach it all the way up or just a little bit. Thread through, landing the shoulder down to the ground. If it doesn't quite reach, then feel free to bring your bolster or blanket underneath your shoulder for a little bit of support here. And again, same thing with the left hand this time. You're welcome to bring it farther in front of you, or to help yourself with a little bit of an adjustment. Mindful awareness here. Notice what you feel and sense in your body. When you bring this awareness to your body, it means that over time, you take this awareness off of your mat, which means in theory, you'll start to really sense when you're rounding your shoulders forward on a daily basis. Bring the left hand underneath the shoulder, slightly in front. Right hand comes all the way back up. Extend it out in front of you. Exhale, bring it back. Twice more. Last time. And hand comes down to the earth. Bring the knees all the way together. Sit back onto your heels. And if that's not comfortable for you, you can come to cross-legged. Extend the arms out to the sides. Bring the hands back behind you. Just a touch. Inhale, rise the hands up. Exhale, hands back behind. Again, just a little touch of the fingertips. If your fingertips don't touch each other, also perfectly okay. Almost like some butterfly wings here. And we'll switch it up in just a moment. Touch the fingertips. Inhale, extend out. Beautiful. Exhale, right arm comes underneath left. Give yourself a big hug. And ensure that Your arms are stacked on top of each other. What this looks like is going to be different for everyone. So some of you may have elbows stacked on top of each other. Some you may be clasping opposite elbows. Either way, perfectly fine. And then gently rise the elbows up, even a little higher than shoulder height, so that you're incorporating a small upper bend in the back here. Nothing too forceful. I'm just going to turn sideways so you can see it from a different angle if you're looking. But nothing forceful here. You're not trying to throw yourself back. Rather, this gentle lifting of the elbows can help create a small bend in the upper spine. Slowly on your next exhale, begin to release the elbows down towards the chest. Open the arms up. And exhale, fingertips come to touch. Good, a couple more times, this wing-like motion, and you can make this slow and juicy as though you're incorporating a fluttering of your body. Inhale, extend the arms out. This time, left arm comes underneath. Give yourself a hug. It may be different from one side to the next, depending. And then again, slowly begin to lift the elbows up, maybe to shoulder height, maybe a little bit more. If there's any crunching in the lower back, you can ease out slightly. Also, in this case, it could help to tuck the tailbone towards your feet, so that you're taking some of the curve out of your lower back. This may or may not be beneficial for your body, so really sense into how it feels. On your next exhale, slowly lower the elbows all the way down. This time you can release and lower down onto your thighs. Roll the shoulders back and roll the shoulders forwards. Feel free to shift it out from side to side. Take your bolster and bring it across your mat or your rolled up blanket. And you'll begin to lay sideways. So ideally, your bolster is going roughly at breast height, maybe a little bit lower, a little bit higher, depending on your own preference and anatomy. So laying sideways, your knees can be straight or they can be bent, whatever feels best for you. But wherever you are, lower your head down onto either a pillow or onto your arm, using it as a pillow. So some clockwork here. Inhale, sweep the arm up. Exhale, drop back behind you. Inhale, sweep forward. Exhale, back. My elbow bends, yours may or may not. Last one. This time on the inhale, rise the hand up and over the head and rest the fingertips on the floor. And then draw all of your awareness into the space on the side of the ribs. So as you draw the awareness here, you're accessing the side ribs and the side of your lungs. At the beginning, we talked about having the breath travel into the lower lobe. So the majority of people breathe in only one quadrant of their lungs, maybe two. And so really directing the breath into this place. You can even bring your hand to rest on the side of your ribs. Last breath here. And bring the left hand down onto your pillow or blanket. And you can roll a little bit towards your side and maybe press yourself up. And then while you're in this seated position for just a moment, really notice the side bodies. Notice whether you can almost sense that there's more breath in the side that you just purposely breathed into. And then we'll come into the other side. So circles first, inhale, rise. Exhale, arm comes back. Any of you with shoulder injuries, it could feel beneficial here to bend into your elbow a little bit if it causes too much strain with the elbow straight. And circles can be as big or as small as feels possible for you. Next, inhale, sweep the arm up overhead. Gently rest the hand above. So here already a stretch through the side body. And then begin to breathe. Maybe bring your hand to your ribs. Last breath. And release the right hand down to the earth or your pillow as you lean and rise yourself back up. Our last pose will be a heart opener. So again, it can be really lovely with a bolster or blanket. And this will go at shoulder blade height. So it could be also nice to have a secondary pillow that you can rest your head upon. So find into this space of your back where there's some bone of your rib cage. So it's not below, but it's also not up by your neck because you want to be able to open through the chest. So we've kind of opened through the back body, opened through the side body. Now it's time to open through the front body. Stretch these muscles that actually get shortened. So find into this position. You'll know if you're in a right position because your head is like, what is happening here? And then you can lower your head down to the earth. This is where an extra pillow could be nice. If this is too open for your neck, then you can have a small pillow underneath. But ideally, bring the arms above the bolster, or they can rest on the bolster, whatever is best for you. Few different arm positions here. You can have the arms out into a T, or you can have the arms in cactus arms. You'll see that my one hand doesn't touch the ground just because of an injury that I have. So this is perfectly fine to be here. Or if it feels better, you can have the arms all the way overhead. That's generally the most intense. And the knees can be bent or the knees can be straightened. And settle into the breath here. Notice if the breath travels through the entire place of the lungs. And once again, invite the breath down to the lower lobe. And notice the breath. Notice if it becomes any easier to take in a deep breath, or if it becomes tougher. If you'd like to stay in this pose, you're welcome to stay as long as you like. If you'd like to ease out, roll gently to one side. And take your time coming up to a seated position. And observe. And you're welcome to take time in meditation. And for now, I will say namaste.